Hey, so in this video I'm going to show you how to reproduce Airbnb's page layout in WeWeb. Let's dive in. If we look at the page, we can see that there are four parts. The top nav, the left content with the listing, the right content with the map, and at the bottom we've got the footer. And we can see that when we scroll the page, the nav and the map stays at the same place. We need to understand what's happening here. And for that, let's jump into Figma. I've reproduced the page layout with some colored rectangles, and the black one is our viewport. And when we scroll the page, this is what's happening. The top nav and the right content stay at the same place in the viewport, but the left content is scrolling. And once we reach the bottom of the page at the footer, the top nav is still staying at the top, but the map, the right content stops right there. And when we scroll back up, we get the map again sticking to our viewport until the top here. And that behavior is achieved with the position sticky of these elements. Let's try to recreate that inside of WeWeb. So here we are inside of WeWeb, and I'm going to start by adding our sections. The first one will be the nav, the second one the main content, and the last one the footer. Our nav will have 80 pixels of height, and the footer will have a fixed height of 400 pixels. I'm going to add a bit of color so that we can see what we are doing. And inside of our main content, we want to have the left and the right content. So for that, I'm going to add a new div. I'm going to call that content. And inside of content, we'll have the left and the right content. We want these two divs to be horizontally aligned, and we want them to fill their parent. And we can see that it's still all teeny here because we need the content to be stretched through the width page. And for that, I'm going to select the main and stretch its content. Now we see that left and the right divs are filling the whole width page. So now let's pretend that the left div has a lot of content. So for that, I'm going to put a fixed height of 200 VH on our div, so we have something to scroll. Now that we can scroll the page, we need the right content to fill the height, the white space here on the viewport, but not going all the way down. And for that, we need to calculate its height. So I'm going to go on the sizing and height, and I'm going to bind the value here, and the value here will be calc 100 VH, VH being the full height of the viewport, and I'm going to subtract the height of the nav here, and which was 80 pixels. If I scroll down a bit, we can see that this div is the right height that we want. And now the fun part is when we add the sticky positioning to our elements. When we scroll, we want the nav to stay at the top. So for that, we're going to go to position here and choose sticky, and we want the stickiness to be at the top. So I'm going to put 0 here, and if I try to scroll down a bit, we can see that the nav is staying at the top here, and we can see that it's still below this to the content. So we're going to add a z-axis of 10, and now if I scroll down, it stays right where we want it to be at the top. And so now we're going to do the same with the right content. I'm going to add a sticky position, and instead of 0 here, I'm going to put 80 pixels from the top, so that we have a small offset that corresponds to the height of the nav. And if we try that, we can see that it's staying at the same place on the viewport, and when we reach the bottom, it begins to scroll, and when we go up, it stays sticky at the top. That's how we achieve that kind of layout. And I will fast forward a bit to make it a bit more pretty, and that will be it.